Hello, I'm in Ashurst in West Sussex, and I'm going to go overlooking St James Church. But for now, I'd rather not go back to the old house, said Morrissey. It's very dark in this church. Got some World War One photos up. Near this place lieth buried Elizabeth, the wife of John Beard Yeoman, who departed this life the 23rd day of August 1692, about 56 years of age. And her daughter above died 1768. Memory of the Reverend James Ellis, son of Thomas and Elizabeth Ellis of the borough of Southwark, whose remains are interred in the chancel in this church. Actually looks like his entrance to the crypt is just here. This is a plaque to the Wilson family. Thomas Wilson was a gentleman. He's got his niece, his daughter. Yeah, a lot of them buried here. This church, the oldest part, is from the 12th century. The oldest part of this church is from the 12th century. The tower there is from around 1200. So yeah, it's got to be about 900 years old. That's a very nice headstone. Memory of the three children of William and Elizabeth Stanford, who died in infancy, all in 1780 something. It's a nice mixture of new and old headstones in here. This was one grave I come to look at in particular. It's wooden, but you can see at the bottom the name's fallen off. But buried here is an English author whose name was Margaret Dowson. She wrote under the pseudonym Michael Fairless. Born in Yorkshire, the youngest of 3 daughters. Sent to school in Torquay. I used to live in Torquay. So her health deteriorated. In 1884, she went to London to train as a nurse at a children's hospital. She did charitable work in the East End of London, but she had a lot of health problems, and she began to lose her sight and had to give up the charitable work, but was able to take up writing under the pseudonym Michael Fairless, inspired by Michael, her childhood friend. Her first book was The Gathering of Brother Hilarious. She also wrote The Road Mender. And died in West Sussex. So that's her grave. Lo, how I loved thee. It's an interesting metal one. Henry Carter died 1906. Harriet Carter 1906. Be ye also patient. This grave here is to a George Float of the Royal Sussex Regiment. Died 1890, aged 22. Oh, that's a nice bench there. Diana, 1954 to 1985. Diana and Celia Powell. So that's all from this cemetery. Now we're going to take a trip to another one, not so far away. This is West Chiltington. Beautiful little place. I just want to go have a look at a plaque I saw in the main high street, and then check out St Mary's Church. It's just a right-of-way notice. 1932. Kind of interesting, I guess. Here's Queen's Head pub. Right, back to the church then. So here you've got some old stocks. Well, a remake of stocks. Village stocks and whipping post. Erected about 1650. Repaired in 1992 and 2019. This is St Mary's Church. Prehistoric and Roman remains have been found in the parish. Church was recorded in the Domesday Record of 1086. But the present building dates mainly from the 1100s. There's a wall painting of the Annunciation of Mary and the Nativity. Of course, you've got a World War One memorial. Let's see if the church is open. Wow, look at that. It's actually quite hot in here. So this church would have been very brightly coloured. So you got the saint on the side of the window here. This is why churches are important, even if we're not religious. They're a beautiful part of our history. And it would be a shame to lose them. Memorial from 1634. Some members of the Brooker family, 1743, 1742. It's interesting. Something about doctors. It's quite worn though. Memory of John Lionel Calvert Booth, Lieutenant 12th Battalion Infantry, Australian Imperial Force. Mortally wounded in action at Gaba Tepe, Gallipoli Peninsula, 1915. one from 1914. Nias Island, which would be South Africa. So on to the next church, because I just found out that this is the wrong one I've come to. It's not the one I wanted to see. So onwards. Now I'm in the Right St Mary's Church, which is in Sullington, just 10 minutes down the road. This says this marble effigy probably represents one of the de Covert family, who were lords of the manor in the 12th to 14th centuries. Cross legs are said to indicate a crusader, and the list of knights present at the siege of Acre includes a de Covert. The willful damage to the head, arms and legs doubtless dates from the Reformation. It's quite a nice memorial. Looks like it's made from marble. Got a couple of memorials up here to the Gibson family. If you go around enough of these churches in Sussex, you will notice that a lot of the names crop up all over the place, like Gibson, Brooker, Blacker. Interesting memorial. World War, which one is it? Yeah, World War One, says at the bottom. The bottom one says Commander GWE Napier and crew of submarine E-24. I wonder if he was on submarine E-24. That's interesting. They've got a cafe and exhibition over there. I'll go have a look at that in a bit. But in here, this extension, is an actress. That's quite a nice one. Josephine and Kenneth Romney Towndrew. Lovers in life and work. So here we are, Alexandra Bastedo Garland, next to Patrick Garland. Alexandra was born in Brighton. She was an actress who was in such science fiction series as The Champions. She was in The Saint, the Bond movie Casino Royale. She was in a number of Spanish films. As well, The Blood Splattered Bride. And she married director Patrick Garland, who's buried next to her. She appeared in Absolutely Fabulous. Interestingly, her dad is buried in St Andrew's Old Church in Hove. Born in Canada, died in Brighton. So we'll go have a look for his grave next time we're down that way. Well, the last stop now is going to be Lancing and Sompting Cemetery to find the grave of a well-known musician. The last thing I'm going to visit today is the grave of Keith Emerson of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, which should be right at the back of this cemetery. Here we go. Keith Noel Emerson, 1944-2016, composer, father and friend. Says here you got to keep things flying. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And here is the grave of a police officer that was killed on duty. And I only know that thanks to the Unusual Things channel. Because he did a video about it. Just behind Keith Emerson. It also says there goes the neighbourhood on the bottom. That's all from me from West Sussex. See you next time. Bye.